YouTube funnels you into what you want to see, but it's not prioritizing what you need to see. And what students need to see, people learning the bass need to see a lot about those other two pillars. That's why we have the most knowledgeable, music students or people that are learning instruments, but they can't play that well. That's what's going on. What's up, everybody? Kyle Barboza here. We're going to review today the video that has set BassTube ablaze. Ish. I don't know. A lot of people are talking about it. I love this video. It's called The Dark Side of YouTube, Scott's Bass Lessons. And watched this yesterday, and I had some thoughts. It's basically a video, Scott talking about how BassTube kind of sucks in a bunch of ways, and also ways that it's good, but definitely more negative than positive. And I actually really like that this conversation is happening. So I thought I would get my reaction and thoughts on tape, and I'm interested in what you all think as well. But yeah, let's hit the play button here.
Things have changed a lot over the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years. And it's an interesting conversation for us to have, Ian, because because what I was saying earlier, I was like, we're part of the problem.
Yeah.
We're part of the problem. Maybe.
That's harsh. That's harsh. I don't. Yeah, part of the problem maybe, but I think this has more to do with YouTube. We'll talk about it.
In terms of bass, we're like the eye of the storm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not self-aggrandizing. That's true. Scott's Bass Lessons is definitely the heavyweight champion of BassTube. So yeah, he's got a point there.
Yeah.
In terms of the dark side of YouTube learning?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, because I think that there's, I think that on YouTube, there's, I think it's an incredible platform. Holy shit. Come on. You know what I mean? It is an incredible platform for so many reasons.
It is incredible. It's totally amazing, but the thing that they're going to get into and that I'm going to respond to and get into as well is YouTube's specialty at this point, or bass YouTube, I will say. Its specialty is definitely not making people better at the bass at this point. It's not its specialty. It's our aim. It's definitely the aim of all of us who have channels, but it's not yet our specialty, so...
And I
do what you will with that.
You watch a lot of YouTube videos.
I do.
Listen,
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Everybody's going to be watching this. Hey, everybody out there, do you know what I mean?
Hi,
Just
Scott.
shout in the comments. Give me a shout out. And so, you guys as well love watching YouTube videos, right? But the downside is that there is there's a real dark side to YouTube. And when it comes to learning a musical instrument,
all right, dark side. It's a little much. It's a little much. It's not dark, but it's. I love this word. It's suboptimal. Let's say
I've got
that.
8 points that I'm going to take you through actually, because I'm organized.
Dude, you got it locked down. Today.
All right, quick before we get in. All right, I'm gonna just fanboy real quick a little bit. How good are Scott and Ian together though? Those two guys, just so perfect, witty, entertaining, funny. When Scott got Ian on board, man, just absolute.
Yeah, I wanted to. I thought
dynamic
about
duo
this because obviously,
awesome.
Because I struggle with it. I struggle with it in two ways. I struggle with it in terms of me thinking about I hope that we're not causing people issues with their learning. And their musical journey. And then I also, I struggle with it because I do ask that question sometimes. And you guys will understand why when I get into this. And then the second thing is I actually struggle with it for myself from the other perspective as a viewer trying to get shit done, trying to learn something, whatever it is, fill in the blank.
Yeah, regardless of our intentions making YouTube videos for bass players and the way YouTube works, I think there's a lot of responsibility on the learner to kind of curate themselves, because YouTube and YouTube channels are not really going to do that for you. So it definitely does kind of throw a wrench in the learning process.
I actually struggle on that side as well. So it's a kind of sort of like it's a tricky one for me as well. Can we just be honest for a minute? Baseline creation can feel...
All right, skip the ad. We'll skip the ad. Speaking of the dark side of YouTube. No, just kidding. All right, here we are.
About how we could be part of the problem. The reason is because we give a shit about your bass playing. Like, the reason I started this channel 14 years ago is because I give a shit. I am massively enthusiastic about education, specific music education. It's music has been my life since I was 30.
I believe that. I believe them. Teaching is super addicting and really, really makes you feel really good. So I totally believe that, like, he does give a shit. He really cares. It's hard not to. I do wonder, though. I wonder, like, with such enthusiasm about teaching and pedagogy in general, I wonder how many bass tube teachers have actually, like, gone to school for music education. I say that because not to flaunt the fact that I did. It's my whole life is music education. I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying it because it really does make a difference. You do, like, let me put it this way. Teacher chops, like playing chops, teacher chops are real. Like, it's a real thing. And you develop your teacher chops by teaching, of course, developing experience, but man, you learn a lot about how to present information to people and how to make people learn in when you go to college for teaching. Like, it is a thing. So I just wonder, like, how many of us on the bass tube circuit are schooled educators, quite frankly.
Years old. It's a good bloody job, because there was nothing else I was good at.
Same.
Yeah, and then in terms of teaching, I've been teaching since, like, I was teaching guitar at 16, and then I was
That's cool.
Started playing bass around like 17 or 18 years old. I was teaching not so far past that. And then also my dad was a great teacher as well, not of music, but he was a great golf teacher, actually. And I can remember just watching my dad teaching golf, and how he used to talk about like how to speak to people, how to break down complex, how to meet people where they're at. Right?
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. The cool thing about that is the connection teaching wise. We just talked about, like, pedagogy, the connection between athletics and teaching an instrument. It's incredible, because they are the only school subjects, for example, that really do a great job of connecting all three learning domains. The what's called the affective domain, which is like the emotional learning domain, the cognitive domain, obviously, because of memorizing scales, memorizing things, memorizing things, using your brain. That's the cognitive domain, but also the psychomotor domain, physical coordination. It's so cool that teaching sports and teaching music instruments connect on that level. So he probably learned a lot of valuable stuff from his father's golf teaching.
And break down complex ideas and things into these easily digestible things. That all comes from my dad, basically, watching him do that.
Yeah. Well, and I want to say something about teaching too. Isn't there this incredible thing that happens when you see a concept land with a student, or you see a concept land with, it feels, and that you've communicated that concept effectively.
Yeah, it's like, anybody out there who's taught, like, let me know what you think about this, but it's like super addicting to when you see students. You get so stoked about seeing a student conquer something, or something click for a student, it's like super addicting. Yeah. By the way, Ian has, I mentioned teacher chops. Ian has real teacher chops. Like he's an all-star teacher. Like he's really talented at it. I love seeing that. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good.
But as an adult, or as, maybe even a young adult, you're maybe not forced anymore. And so then you have choices. And I think that sometimes you go on YouTube thinking, oh, I'll just learn how to do it all on YouTube. I have the choice. I can bounce around and make any decisions I want. I'm not in school anymore. So look at me. I've got free will and I'm choosing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I will say, though, I think more the problem with, or one of the problems with learning bass on YouTube is that, like, you go on there hoping that someone will tell you what you should learn next. You don't go on there with the intent of just jumping around and having huge holes in your playing. You're hoping that someone will show you the way, and that's just not. That's probably the biggest problem with BassTube is that, like, there's just no good way to order the information to let you know what you should learn first, second, and third. I mean, there are a lot of videos that try to say that, but I have to say, like, I don't agree with a lot of them. I'm going to talk about what I think is important probably somewhere soon.
I want to give you, like, okay, Scott, you've got these sort of like 8 reasons, that YouTube might not be that great for me. And now what? Right. So we've got, we've got some stuff.
Right.
And interestingly,
Yeah,
I'm going through.
YouTube is great at showing you what sucks, people telling you what sucks, but not always great at people telling you what the solution is. So, yeah, I like that.
And also, it's about just sort of like knowing what's going on, being aware. You know what I mean? Like, awareness is so important that you actually understand. So, for instance, I'll give you everybody put your virtual hand up in the air right now if you feel like you're playing Stuck in a Rut. Right? So I'm just imagining a few hands going in the air.
Yeah.
Or put your hand in the air right now.
A lot of hands.
If you don't feel like let me put it this way. Put your hand in the air. If you've been playing for a while, but you don't think that your playing matches up with how long you've been playing for.
Oh, right.
Okay.
You know what
All
I
right.
mean?
Great.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, great point. Oh, that's a good screen to stop on. Great point. And here's what I posit. I think if you are one of those people whose playing is stuck in a rut, there's usually 2 reasons for it that I've encountered over and over and over again. And the first reason is rhythm. That I just have met enough people at this point who are like, I don't know why I'm not getting better at the bass, or I don't know why I can't accomplish this goal that I have on the bass. I want to be able to play a solo in a song, or come up with fills, or come up with a bass line, or whatever. And I listen to them play, and right away I'm like, you don't yet know how to subdivide rhythms. That's the biggest one. That means that, like, if the beat is like doont cut doont cut doont cut, that in the back of your head you've got ta ta ka ta 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 ta, basically what the hi-hat does on the drums, right? Or taka 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 taka, or whatever it is, you need that running in your head, and you need to be able to put your notes right on that grid, right exactly on those subdivisions. And I've met so many bass players who are struggling with playing, and they don't realize that that's their issue. So that's number 1. Number 2 is going to sound dumb, but like, it's left-hand position shifting. That is such an issue for a lot of people. They just don't have fluidity yet in their left hand yet, right? These are not things that you can't correct. It's not a talent thing. It's that you just haven't realized that, oh, you really need to be able to shift well, and not a lot of people can. So, yeah, those 2 things. If you're in a rut, first of all, if you're in a rut, email me. I'm the guy. I'll get you out of that rut. Like, let's work one-on-one. I'm a guy who can help. Let's at least talk about lessons. But I digress. Like, those are the two things I see.
Interesting. Well, how many people playing out there like kind of confused? Like, I've
been playing for 20 years. And
all along.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing for 12 years. How come I'm not any good? So all of the problems that I'm going to go through in terms of YouTube will be not helping you in that regard. There's definitely sort of like certain things about learning on YouTube that won't be helping you out. So jumping into the list. Number one, okay, the illusion of progress. The illusion of progress. The illusion, or it could be also framed as this, the illusion of feeling like you're doing the work. So,
Shit, I know. So is this like when you watch a video about something and you think, I've consumed that content, therefore I must know it.
yes.
Why, yes, Ian, it is.
Don't know it.
So, and this is like this is like a wildfire in music learning, and has been actually since, I would say, since the advent of YouTube. And I've spoken to so many music teachers about this, especially instrumental teachers, guitar, bass, drums, that students will turn up and they will have all of this knowledge. They will know more than any student knew like 15 years ago.
Right.
It's like, holy shit. Like they're telling you about the modes and the like tritone substitution and like all they know more than me, right? And then they play and you're like, oh, they can't play.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. There are, in my opinion and in my experience, there are three, let's call them three pillars of learning an instrument. And I'm going to put them in order of importance. I already touched on one of them as being super important. I think the most important pillar of learning a musical instrument is internalizing rhythm. And I know Jeff Berlin, for example, would vociferously disagree with me on that. But I'm right about this one. I could explain why. It would be long-winded. Hit me up in the comments if you want to hear the explanation. It is the most important part of music. That's number one. Okay, we touched on that. Number two is, I think, improvisation, which is not just soloing. It's not just jazz soloing. It's being able to write a bass line, being able to jam with people, or play a solo, like improvise a melody. It is basically it's creating music in the moment, okay? Improvising. That's number two, being able to create music in the moment. And number three is a big umbrella that I'll call language. That is all of the things that encompass like learning a new scale, learning a new song, somebody else's song, learning licks. It's the YouTube video that says 5 pentatonic licks that'll change your life. All of that is language. And YouTube is great for learning language. It is great. If you want to learn the modes, go on YouTube. If you want to learn the diminished scale, go on YouTube. It's amazing for that. Learn a tutorial of a song, all under the language umbrella. But there are not a lot of YouTubers covering the other two pillars that I think are the most important ones. And the reason for that is because, hold on, the video stopped. I gotta hit screen record again, this stupid thing. Anyway, while I'm fixing this, the reason for that is because YouTube prioritizes video. They prioritize what you click on, which means it prioritizes videos that students want. Most of the time over what students need. That's what I'm really trying to say. YouTube funnels you into what you want to see, but it's not prioritizing what you need to see. And what students need to see, people learning the bass need to see a lot about those other two pillars, the rhythm and improvisation aspect, the creative aspect. But it's almost all language stuff. That's why we have the most knowledgeable, music students or people that are learning instruments, but they can't play that well. That's what's going on.
It's this illusion of progress, or this illusion that you're doing the work, when actually what you're doing is absorbing information. You're consuming information through video, and it's giving you that feeling because of dopamine. You're feeling like good about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this is
too.
great.
This is great. Yeah, this is a great point.
It's like the bass or the guitar or drum
Yeah.
version of just sitting
Good.
on the toilet scrolling through Instagram. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of
Right?
course.
It's that same thing, but it
Yeah,
comes with
yeah,
this illusion that you're actually doing the work.
Yeah, I think we're hitting kind of the same point of like, it's what you want to see. You know what I mean? It's what you'll click on over
And I see this with
actually
my
getting
son.
the
I'll be like,
work
hey,
done.
Have you? He'll have a project.
or seeing the videos you need to see. All right, I'm going to scroll ahead to number 2 here.
YouTube's goal.
I recommend watching the whole
versus
video, though.
your
It's great.
goal is completely different. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Your goal, Ian, or my son's goal, right, is to learn how to do video, right, and do this.
Right.
Yeah, we're hitting this again. We're hitting the same points here. Great minds think alike, Scott. Great minds think alike.
Project for school that he wants to do, or
Sure.
somebody watching this
Maybe.
video, their goal is to learn bass, get better on the instrument, level up.
Right.
Yeah,
YouTube's goal is to, by any means possible, keep you on their platform for as long as possible.
yeah.
Yes.
Because
Well
they're-
said.
that is their business model. It's to
Right.
get you to consume as much content as physically possible.
In other words, your goal is to get better at the bass, and YouTube is actually working against that goal in many ways. Even though, again, on that language thing I was talking about, YouTube is a gold mine. It's an absolute gold mine. It's incredible. So
Yes.
you got to
That's
take the
the
positive with the
only
negative.
Because they advertise to you.
Yes, because that's how they make money, by serving you ads. They don't want you to watch the video and then press pause and then go and okay.
I mean, to be fair, YouTube makes money through advertisement, but this is also how SBL and Kyle Teaches Bass and everybody else functions on YouTube. We are essentially advertising ourselves so that we can lure you in, so that we can get you into our ecosystem of bass learning. So, we are not always doing the most optimal thing for your learning either. For example, I don't order my videos in the order that I think you should learn bass in. I order my videos partly based on like what I feel like making. And then also sometimes I'm like, man, I haven't had a video that's done well in a while, which I haven't actually. I'm like, what would do well? Because I want people to watch my channel, because I want people to get better at bass, and I think I'm a good teacher. And we're all doing that same thing. So
They don't want my son to watch this video and press pause and then go and do the thing, right? They don't want that. So you've got two conflicting goals in direct opposition with each other. You want to get the information and then you need to go apply it. YouTube want you to get the information. And then consume more information and consume more information.
Yeah,
you're sticking a
that's
greasy burger
really
down
well
your
said.
gullet.
Yeah, what he just said right there, just to reiterate, because I'm not going to reinvent his wheel right here, but he just mentioned that what you need to do, again, want versus need, what you need to do is watch one video and then spend a week on that video, practicing that video. But instead what we do, and I'll give you an example from myself, my own experience. You want to watch you get into this stuff and you want to watch another video and another video. So for me, I've been watching a ton of videos on saxophone YouTube videos on diminished scale licks, because I just like the sound of the diminished scale and I want to get it in my bass playing. And instead of watching one video and getting one lick from that video and then practicing it a ton so that I can do it on a gig, I learn 10 licks watch 2 videos, learn 10 licks, and then don't practice any one of them enough to apply them on a gig. So now I don't have anything yet. So, and I think that's what's happening to a lot of people, and he's hitting the nail on the head. All right, I want to go ahead to this 4th one because I really like this. I really like this one.
Zero structured progression. So the content on YouTube is not like, you know, when you go to college or school and there's a curriculum and you sit there and you're like, hey, 4-year-old, here's a pen. Well, here's a pencil. We're going to teach you how to do it. Then you're going to do your ABCs, and like it's a structured content. Just when you go to music college, just when you go to any college, any school, right? There'll be a structured curriculum. Okay, so there's zero structured curriculum on YouTube, and that can be a positive thing in a few ways.
Yeah.
But largely, it's actually when you just sit there and think about it a while, it's largely negative.
Yep.
For a bunch of different reasons. Okay, and I'll give you a couple of...
Yes, and language content doesn't really need to be structured. Other than, like, I really think you should learn your major scales toward the beginning of your playing, like actually learn them fully and memorize them. I think it's super valuable for a ton of reasons. Other than that, like language stuff, you can kind of pick and choose what you learn. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be that structured. There is an optimal way to learn certain things, but that's those other 2 things that are missing, man. It's the rhythm and the improvisation aspect.
A couple of kind of sort of like things that come downstream from this, right? So one would be, and I've had this, like I'll be speaking to a bass player. She's been playing for 3 months. I'm like, oh, well, she's having problems. Like she's hit a brick wall. She's like really frustrated. I'm like, well, what are you working on right now? Well, like I've learned all of the modes.
Oh my God.
I'm like, but you've been playing for 3 months.
It's awesome.
Well, yeah, I have been playing for 3 months, but I saw a video on YouTube and it said sort of like 7 easy shapes to help you unlock the fretboard.
Right. Oh, that's one of
Yeah.
my titles for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's probably an SBL video. Sounds like one. Sounds like one of their titles. No shade. No shade. No shade.
This is the problem.
But yeah,
of putting like an algorithm in charge of your learning. It's going to throw information at you, not based on where you are as a player. It's going to throw information at you based on whether you're going to click through or not.
Yeah, and that's also not a bad thing. I totally agree. Absolutely agree. But like, you know, again, I said the challenge of being a student learning on YouTube is that you have to curate your own learning, and you're not equipped to do that. That's the thing you want from a teacher or anything that teaches you, is to, first of all, tell you what you need to learn and when. And you can't do that with YouTube. But also, like, at the same time, you know, when I release a video on the modes, or Scott does, or anybody, we're not releasing that toward beginners. You know what I mean? And so part of that is like, maybe we should do a better job of having a system of letting people know, like, what's the skill level of this lesson I'm teaching? But then, I see arguments against that already too. But it's like, you know, we're not releasing them for beginners is what my point is. So like, if you're a beginner and you're watching videos on the modes, we didn't intend that for you. But at the same time, it's not your fault, because you're just watching things that are interesting, you know? So.
Right. It is disregarding your wellness or your trajectory of healthy learning.
Yeah.
It's just saying, oh, you clicked on this? Yeah, let's do more. Let's do more bass grimoire.
Hey, but you know what? Let me say something by the way. Bass grimoire. That's wicked funny. Dude, these guys. I love these guys. Let me say something a little maybe controversial, though. I don't mind teaching beginners modes. If someone wants to study jazz, probably the first tune I'm going to start with is So What by Miles Davis. That's a modal tune. It's not the language that's the problem. Like I said, you need to make sure students have those other foundational things in order to be successful learning any language. Are you teaching the student how to play in time, how to play solid rhythms with good sound, with good technique. All of those things that's what you need to show beginners. How you do that, of course, you're not going to start with giant steps or, the altered scale, but modes, major scales, songs, doing both at the same time, like all of that's game. All of that is game. It's the other stuff that's important. And it's the other stuff that a lot of even advanced bass players don't have. One more thing that might be a little controversial, because I know this is a big thing on YouTube. And I know a lot of people find success with this. But I gotta throw it out there. I hear a lot about, well, if you want to get good on the bass, all you really have to do as a beginner is start learning songs. Just learn songs and go from there. And I don't agree with that. I agree more with someone like Jeff Berlin on this thing, where it's like, no, there needs to be other aspects. The technique thing, learning scales, all of that stuff does invaluable things for every player at every level. There needs to be both. So learning songs as the way that you do everything, that'll get you somewhere for sure. And you'll be enjoying the bass. I don't disagree with it. What I'm saying is, I think the best teachers find a way to fold the other things in as well, because there are ways to fold all of that stuff in and make the experience just as enjoyable as learning as just learning songs. So take that as you will. But again, not to pull the teacher card, but as an experienced teacher, I think there are more optimal ways to fold in things holistically so that people can learn all of the songs that they want, not just the songs that they're ready for at the beginning. You want people to be able to be free to learn whatever they want on the bass. And that takes time, of course, but you get there faster by those things I talked about. So, all right, we've been going for a while, so I'll do a little more, and then I'll leave you guys off to watch the video, and really hoping to hear what you think about all this, because this is just a great conversation. I'm really grateful once again to these guys for this.
Okay.
Ooh,
this is what happens.
Not so good.
Okay, I should have done years on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, your skill level gets to about here and then never passes there. You never get over here.
You plateau,
and it stays like that. That's what actually happens to a lot of people.
Oops.
Just turn it like this. Just flip the page.
Went away from Thanks, I'll flip the page.
Yeah.
Okay, want to say something about if you're someone who comes to a plateau. I'm going to say it on a micro level. Let's say you're working on something new and you can't advance past some part of it. Let's say you learn the intro of some Primus song, but you can't get that really hard part. There's two things that happen. One is either you need to slow it down a lot, like slow it down, and then get it really slow and gradually speed up, or that's not going to make a difference because there is a technical thing holding back your playing. Some examples would include, like, you have fingers that fly, and you need to train yourself to use lower fingers, or like I mentioned before, position shifting. You just haven't worked out any position shifting, and the position shifts that are in this song are just getting in your way. Or, it could be a right hand it's a technique thing. It's a specific thing in your technique. I'll give you an example that I struggle with. I have a weak ring finger, and that holds me back on a lot of licks. And so I've been working on the past year. It's getting stronger. It's getting stronger on making sure that it doesn't bend like that. And I'm getting better, but that's holding me back. So it's one of those two things.
Number 6, I'm going to jump through these. I don't want to be too long. Number 6 is, these are obvious ones. Hopefully the ones that we've been talking about have been like less obvious. These are the next 3, 6, 7, or 8 are more obvious. Number 6 is you're not getting any feedback or personalized guidance.
Yeah.
That's been really, really crucial to me. It's kind of like, well, you're just not getting any, right? So you don't know whether you're working on the right thing for you right now. You're just
And you might not know. We've talked about this before. You might not even know what the problem is. You might not know what's blocking you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I've done so many video submissions from students, SBL members, that get stuck on something, on a song, on a riff, on it, but they've hit a wall and they're like, why can't I get past this wall? And it's actually very simple.
Yep.
It's a technique issue. It's a rhythm issue. It's a simple fingering issue, but they can't see it. It's like you're so close to it, you can't take a step back.
Yeah.
You know, your nose is against the fretboard and you're like, why can't I see the whole fretboard?
Yeah.
Because you got to take a step back and someone has to say, oh, look, no. Right? It's this thing that's plaguing you. Try this. And sometimes it's so simple, but since we're siloed.
Again, this is like, Ian is this is proof to me that like, yeah, this guy's got real teacher chops. Now the challenge beyond that is, now how do you help the student get over that? Like, okay, so you've recognized the student has an issue with rhythm or an issue with shifting, the things we just basically agreed on. The challenge is helping the student formulate a plan to fix the issue, to improve the issue. And I would have, personally, like, would totally trust Ian to be able to do that. I mean, he just, like I said, he's a really good teacher, man. Scott too. Like, there's a lot of really good teachers on YouTube. They're out there, I don't think all of them are good. Like, I'll be frank, I don't. But there are some really good ones. And yeah, it's really cool, man. It's really cool. And again, like, these guys are kind of self-taught teachers. I don't think Ian has a degree in teaching. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But like, if he's a self-taught teacher like that, man, it's really impressive.
YouTube algorithm game.
He's got a lot of talent at it.
We don't have the
it's really
opportunity.
cool.
We haven't prioritized.
And then number 8, I think the algorithm, for whatever reason, is good at this part actually, but I'm going to mention it anyway, because I think it's just worth mentioning it. But I do think the algorithm does a good job of floating good stuff to the top in terms of this, right? Number 8 is inconsistent quality in teaching styles. There are definitely people out there that are teaching wacky stuff, but because I've seen those videos and teaching things incorrectly as well. But interestingly, I think that the algorithm does a good job of deprioritizing those videos and pushing the videos where good teachers are teaching great stuff.
Yes, it's the inconsistency of the teaching skill, the pedagogical skill, but it is also equally the inconsistency of having content that most bass players need. And because it's not necessarily the stuff you will click on. And like I said, just be thinking. Here's a little piece of advice before I go for how to know that you're getting good information on YouTube. Technical information that you get should be teaching you to play with not a lot of tension. So if you're getting information about technique that is adding tension to your playing physically, muscle tension, that's not good technique, at least not for you, okay? So that's one thing to watch out for. Look for teachers who are teaching technique that lends to relaxed playing, to non-tense playing. Another thing is, again, like I said, look toward teachers. Look to find teachers that are giving you solutions and not just problems, and that those solutions are exercise based. Not that they're just saying you should learn the modes, but that they're giving you an exercise to learn the modes. And there's a lot out there, and not all the exercises are good. Not all of them are good, but it's a good place to start, because that might lead you to something new. I remember watching SBL when they first came out, and Scott was doing a lesson on major arpeggio, arpeggio patterns and diatonic arpeggio patterns. That's what it was. And the exercise was okay. It was a pretty good exercise. It was a good little exercise. And I did it for a few days, and it led me to some other creative ideas that totally took me to another place with diatonic arpeggios. So thanks to that video, which was a great little video with a good exercise in it, I had new material and new things to work on, and it was really great. I remember that. So yeah, look to that. Look to see that there are good exercises. And what else? And of course, this goes without me saying, but yeah, look for teachers that present the information in a way that you vibe with, that make you want to listen, that make you want to play the bass when the lesson is done. I'll tell you this is a non-bass channel, but a channel that I've been super into that is really popular channel is the Open Studio channel, the Open Studio show called You'll Hear It. It's two dudes playing piano. It's these, I forget who I think they're college professors, and they're just sitting across from each other, and they're super jazz cats. Like they're funny to listen to. But those guys, to me, I just vibe so much listening to them, and I get so much good information. So whether it's, there's great channels out there, Bass Buzz, or SBL, or KTB, or TTB, TED Talks Bass. Ted, shout out, man. I really enjoy your channel, as you know. And Lauren Cohen, he's got a good channel. What I'm saying is small and big. If you're vibing with it and the information is helpful, stick with it. It's there's a lot of good stuff. Don't judge on thumbnails. Don't judge on title. Watch the channel and judge on how you think that the teaching is. And then judge on whether or not you get better. But remember, you also have to pace yourself, take in a little information at a time, and then go practice. And in the meantime, enjoy other stuff, but put it on the back burner before you go and try new exercises until you've done that exercise that you were interested in for a week. Then go to the other stuff. There's plenty of time. So anyway, hey, I hope you guys thought this was interesting. I hope you got something from it, and I'll be back next week with I got a good. We talked a lot about rhythm. I got a good rhythm exercise next week. So yeah, looking forward to it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.